Well, good afternoon, everyone. I know it's been a couple of weeks due to some things going around our household, but we're back. And a little bit of a sore back today, so if I'm leaning on the counter, don't throw things at me, okay? But we're going to make today one of the most commonly seen in meal prep uh, meals, and that is a kind of a mix and match kind of meal. So it'll be rice and chicken and roasted vegetables. Now, because it doesn't take all that much to do that. I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm doing, and this will be a little bit of a shorter episode because there's no need to go through how to use a rice cooker and watch it all the way to the end. And so we're just going to kind of go through and show you the prep that's necessary, give you some time frames, and while I'm cooking some things, while I'm prepping some things up. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my veggies started because some of the veggies today I'm doing peppers and squash and onions and Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. I was going to do broccoli, but someone in the house, not named Rick, has evidently put my brand new double boiler, my steamer, someplace that I can't find. So we won't be doing broccoli today, but we'll get that shortly. And I suppose I could roast it, but for right now, I'm just going to roast these vegetables. So I have them all washed here. I guess I should adjust the camera angle so you can see what's going on. Remember that free non-paying camera position is available for those of you looking to get into show business. This could be your big break. Could not be too, but hey, whatever. All right, so I'm gonna spray some avocado oil on my pan. I've already got the oven preheating and it's actually doing it this time. I'm learning. All right, so the things that are going to take the most time, the thing that takes the most time to roast properly is my onion. So I'm going to cut him up first. We've had this discussion a couple times before. I prefer bigger slices. I'm not using my cool little tool today because I'm not cutting it really finely. All right, so let's take those and kind of take them off like this. You know, I love onions. I like them better when they don't make me cry. So far, so good. All right, so we're going to have a bunch of these bad boys. It's not quite a full onion because, well, this was partially used in another meal that we made. So I'm just going to kind of spread those out there. The onions are supposed to take, let's see, I've got it all written down here in my little cheat sheet, 40 to 45 minutes. So they are by far the thing that takes the longest. So I'm going to stick them in the oven whilst I am cutting everything else up. So they'll get a bit of a head start. And then if they take a little longer than the vegetables that go in afterwards, it's not a big deal because I'll just take those out and put the onions back in for a while longer, right? So the reason I'm doing a bunch of different veggies and I'm mixing them is because that way I don't have to have the same meal all the time, even though I have the same basic ingredients, right? So, excuse me, the vegetables will set it off in different ways. And depending on how you want to season your vegetables, that also will make a difference. So, what are we going to throw in ours? Well, on my onions, I'm going to throw some Lowry salt. And I'm not being stingy with it. I'm probably going to put this on a couple other things. We'll see what I feel like when I do it, and some garlic because you can't go wrong with garlic or onions. But you know, all right. So we're going to throw this in there. The oven is still preheating, but hey, they'll get started. And when that goes off, I had It's over here. Hold on. See, I need a cameraman and an assistant to like find my phone for me. All right, so we're gonna put the timer on the phone so that I can kind of keep track. It's supposed to be 45 minutes since we're in preheat. I'm gonna put it on for 45 minutes. And we'll kind of keep track that way. So the next longest thing, it started. Okay, good. The next longest thing on my list comes in at 20 to 35 minutes, and that's the cauliflower. So need a bigger knife for that because it's easier. And again, your cook time is going to vary based on how thick you make everything. I basically, when I'm doing the cauliflower, I like to cut it into like cauliflower steaks and then chop them up from there. They don't need to be super small, but at the same time, I don't want them to be super big. And it's the same way I do for my salads, except with the salads, I'm going to chop them a little bit more. Right? Okay. So just kind of take a few minutes of these. All right. A couple really big pieces, not really going to hurt anything. And yes, if you're asking, I am leaving the stems. A little bit of the stem is left because it is edible, and when it's roasted, it's not nearly as hard on the palate as it might be raw for some of you. Why waste food, right? That's right. So, because it's going to take me a minute, I have more to cut. What I'm going to do, grab myself a bowl to put these in. This cutting board's only so big, you know. So, in looking at this meal, you can go into an app like MyFitnessPal, which is what I did, and you can put together how you're going to make your what the quantities are of the things you're going to put in, and then it will give you an idea of the macros and the calories. So if I put a cup of, and these are very, very, these are not precise measurements because I did not put in what each vegetable, I just put mixed roasted vegetables, but I put a cup of rice, and because I'm going to be cooking my rice a little bit differently, I really would need to add what I'm cooking my rice in as well, but I didn't because some of you won't. So it came out to 600 calories in a serving if I put a cup of chicken, a cup of rice, and a cup of mixed vegetables. Now, the thing there that this really helps you with, depending on whatever you're trying to accomplish, is that all you have to do to have something different is to use more or less of whatever it is that you're putting in it. Now, one of the things I am going to do is grab, so I don't forget, my olive oil, because I am going to drizzle this with my, I am going to drizzle some olive oil over the cauliflower to help it brown up a little bit. So now it's time for the Brussels sprouts. So we're just going to take off the end, and I washed them, but still going to take off a couple of the outer leaves that come off pretty easy when I cut the end off. And I'm just going to cut them in half. Well, this one's got a little bit. All right, I'll get rid of the bad part there. Well, I will tell you, I'm going to cut them in half all at the end with the big knife. All right, so this takes a little bit of time, but it's going to be so worth it because I'm getting a lot of extra fiber in this meal. I'm getting really good protein levels, right? 49 grams of protein for those 600 calories. I'm getting good, I forget the protein or the fiber because of vegetables. I'm getting some good fiber with that. And it's just a really easy way to make some meal prep that is not all the same, right? Because I can do a bowl with just broccoli. I can do a bowl with just cauliflower. I can do a bowl with mixed stuff. I can mix and match depending on what I want. And that way I don't get super tired because I'm not eating the same thing. The oven just now came to heat. All right, good. We're doing good. A few more Brussels sprouts here, and then we'll move on. All right. And then what I'm going to do, because I'm cooking a double batch of rice in the rice cooker, I'm going to, that's going to take 20 to 30 minutes. So I'll get that started next. And then we'll do the second batch of vegetables and the chicken. So the chicken is the easiest thing because I'm using the Instapot for that. And I'm going to do something a little bit different, just a little bit different, a little trick I saw on one of my reels this week. Not mine, but on the reels that I was watching. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, looks like I had somebody trying to eat that one. Well, it's good for you, so even the bugs want it. All right, there we go. All right, now we're going to cut them in half. Yeah, Brussels sprouts are kind of dense, so that little knife wasn't going through it quite as easily as Monstro does. All right, so yeah, so a little trick that I saw that I really wanted to try. I was going to marinate my chicken this time, so I decided just to try it the way I'm going to do it. And the next time, I'm going to start experimenting with some marinades, which I've never really done before. Putting on, letting it marinate for anywhere from a couple hours to overnight, depending on when I get started and when I need to do the cooking. All right. So we are 37 minutes left to go. We're gonna start the rice before I throw these in there because that'll get us closer to having all three of these veggies done at the same time. And let me just make sure. Yeah. Okay. So the peppers and the squash are going to take 10 to 20 minutes. So we'll do those on a separate tray afterwards once we pull these off. They also need a little bit higher temperature. So I'm kind of putting things together where they need to go. So the next thing we're going to do is our rice. And I cook my rice with broth. So I'm going to do a double batch of rice. So it just means I need 4 cups of broth and or water. And I think I'm going to be short on this, but maybe half and half today or close. But it gives it a lot more flavor. And there's 2 cups, a little bit. So we'll do 2 cups of that and 2 cups of water. Okay. And then I'm going to throw some butter in there. Throw in 2 cups, so that's 4 cups of liquid, 2 cups of rice. I'm going to put in before I use that because now it's wet. And the main reason I love my rice cooker so much is that once I put the butter in and close the lid and turn it on, I'm all done until it's done. And it tells me when it's done. I don't have to do anything but open it, scoop it, and or eat it. Okay. So put some butter in. That'll give us some good healthy fat. Plug it in. Hit the switch. The only thing I have to do left is put away the rice. Boy, that was hard. Okay. And Those are measuring cup in the dirty dishes. Okay, so we have 35 minutes left, and that's about what we need for the cauliflower. So it's time to pull our stuff out of the oven. It's not a bad thing, because that also gives me a chance to turn the onions. With some top of the cutting board because it's very hot. I don't know why it's so hot, but it is. All right, so we'll just kind of turn our onions over. Yeah, they're starting to roast. They get a little brown. Little, not too much, but they're getting started. You can tell they take the longest. Okay. And then we will put our cauliflower here, and well, let's put our cauliflower at the end. Separate by color here. Our Brussels sprouts in the middle. And if these get mixed up, I don't care that much because they're going to get mixed up in the meal prep, a lot of them as well. All right. So we'll put those out there. So there's the Brussels sprouts are separate a little bit. Everything's nice and tucked in. We're going to drizzle some olive oil on there. I need to get one of those fancy schmancy oil spritzer thingies. But you know what I say about meal prep in the beginning, you use what you have. In this case, I have a bottle, and it'll work just fine. Okay. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw garlic on this as well, and I think I'm going to use Lowry salt as well. What the heck? I like both of those a lot, and I have not been using them very well. The garlic, yes. I've not been using the Lowry's very much lately. So I'll do a little flashback. I may even use it on the first batch of chicken. First batch, you say? Yes. Today I'm doing multiple batches. We have 2 batches of vegetables. Obviously, we put in 2 cups of rice instead of the 1 we normally do. I'm going to have plenty of food that I can use for the people who are coming out of the woodwork to get meal prep for me. All right, back in the oven you go. Whew. All right, now, I'm going to clean off my cutting board a little bit here. Not that it matters that much, but I like it all clean. All right. Now, oh, I missed a sprout of the Brussels. No problem. It's not too late. Give him a dash of stuff. Man. There, reunited. And it feels so good. All right, so when we're doing, and I'm doing thawed chicken, one of the things I like about the Instapot is that you can actually do frozen chicken very easily as well. But today we're doing thawed because of what I want to do with it. I need to grab some chicken broth, which I think I had in here, but it may be in the cupboard. But my fridge is full of stuff. All right, it appears I have to do something I'm not supposed to do. That's leave the camera empty. But hey, you can stare at the kitchen for a minute. Now, if I didn't have broth, I could have just put, I could use apple juice or pineapple juice or water. Would have worked just fine, but I really like to make it with chicken broth, and then you can reuse that chicken broth as well, or use it for au jus, right? So when I make this, a lot of times what people don't like about um, chicken and rice and veggies for meal prep is that it's really dry, but I can take this broth and put it on, and all of a sudden I have it stays very moist that way. So we can do that as well. So we're gonna take, I have whew, a lot of chicken. What'd she give me today? Almost 5 pounds. So we're gonna take half of it, about half. I'm not measuring right now during the cooking process. What I'll be measuring will be in the prep process, right? That's what I'm going to do 1 cup, 1 cup, and 1 cup. So that's how I know I'll be able to hit the macros or about where I want to be on the macros. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to score my chicken fairly deeply. I'm going to cut across it. If you can see, I think you can sort of see. I'm going to cut a crisscross pattern in there. And the reason that I saw that people were doing this was not so that they could cut it into cubes easier later, which could happen, but because now the chicken, if I can get the excess fat off of here. There we go. Now the chicken is a little more exposed. So when I put the seasoning on, and I'm going to do it over the thing here. Let's get the lid off while I still have a hand that's not gunky with chicken. Yes, if you want to send a care package, I need gloves, and I always forget to get them. Yeah. All right. Anyway, gonna Lowry's this bad boy up, and now I'm getting it inside the chicken as well, not just on the outside. And I was like, hey, that's a really good idea. Same with my garlic. That'll be the other side, obviously, and that'll just be on the outside. And that side will go face down, the bottom side down. We'll do that again with this one. Why does it feel gritty? Oh, maybe because we got some garlic and Lowry's on it while we were doing the other piece. So not a problem. Just gonna kind of trim it up a little bit. All right. Got some slices in this bad boy. We already know because we're using the Instapot, we're gonna have very, very moist and tender chicken. Now we're finding ways to get even more flavor in besides what the pressure pushes in. Right? So I just think this is a really cool idea. And I might even use it when I do my marinades so that the marinade doesn't just soak through the skin or through the outside layer, but gets, a little more inside the chicken. The Wiccan. This off. All right, this guy has a lot of excess that we don't need. I'm not a big fan of chicken fat, so I like to get it trimmed up pretty good before I put it in. Your mileage may vary, and that's fine. All right. So this will cook for, says 8 to 10 minutes, because I like to err on the side of caution. It will go for 10 minutes. It'll go for 10 minutes on high, and then you give it 5 minutes to release naturally, then you release the rest and it's ready to go, and then you can cube it or shred it, whatever you want to do. For me, I'm probably, since half the work's done, as you can see, I will probably cube this bad boy. then she'll be all ready to go. Keep turning this the wrong way. Making sure we get it inside those cuts. And throw it in there. Okay. Wash my hands because they're gross. I like a lot more things about cooking and meal prep than I used to before I got started, when I hated all of it. One of the things I still don't like is meat, raw meat on my hands. So I guess it is time to get some gloves. All right, there we go. That off, and then we'll start that. Now, what we have right now, if I were to stop here, which I'm not, but if I were to stop, I've got chicken cooking. Sure it's sealed. I pressure for 10 minutes. Boom. She's ready to go. I've got rice going. Take a look at the rice, and yep, it's boiling up. It's getting ready. And then I have my vegetables roasting. So basically, not a lot of prep. And if you're prepping vegetables throughout the week, you may even have those already done, right? You just throw them into the oven. Of course, if you're doing them for salads, they probably be smaller, right? So you may want to do that. But now all I really have to do is cut up some squash and red peppers. And once these come out of the oven, those will be done, right? Then I'll take my glass meal containers that I love so much. I just bought 10 more. That tells you anything. I'll throw a cup of rice, a cup of chicken, a cup of veggies, and I'm going to put some of that juice, some of that broth in there so that my rice is nice and moist when I go to eat it. Some of them are going to go in the freezer, my freezer. Some will go in my fridge for me. Some are going to my daughter. Some are going to, other family members who are, I want some, right? Although maybe I'll get away with this one. I just won't tell them that we made this. But very simple to make, very fast, doesn't take a lot of effort, doesn't take a lot of prep. You can make whatever vegetables you want. If you don't want chicken, you could do turkey. You could do some other sort of meat. You could do quinoa or pasta or anything else for the base layer. You just, like I said before, you go into my Fitness Pal. Sorry, back. You go into my Fitness Pal, enter how much of whatever ingredient you have, and then adjust the amounts until it gets to the macros that fit your plan or how you want to do it, right? You can adjust up or down for calories, for protein, for fiber, etc. So very, very simple way to create multiple meals that are going to keep you within your plan, and that you don't have to be eating the same thing over and over and over again, right? So I can do one with just cauliflower. I can do one with just broccoli, or yeah, I could when I make the broccoli, or Brussels sprouts. The onions are going to probably go in everything, right? I could do one with the squash. I could, and I will do some that are mixed with a lot of the different types of vegetables, so that you just don't get tired of it that way, right? Because it has totally different flavor. You can also change it up by the spices that you're using. I could use more Italian herbs and spices. I could use Italian seasoning. I could use oregano. I can use all of those types of things in there if I want. And then it all tastes different. I could totally do a different type of seasoning on the next batch of chicken, which is what I'm probably going to do. The possibilities are endless, nearly endless. Okay. So if you're looking for something that's really easy to make, very versatile, and you can use a lot of whatever happens to be in your fridge, this is a great way to go. So we hope you like this. If you like this and you want to see more, or you want to participate in a community that's all about helping each other to make progress in our meal prep and our whatever journeys we're on, whether it's getting stronger in the gym, we're doing meal prep, or whether it's to maintain our weight or to gain weight or to lose weight, whatever it is. If you want to learn more and work with some people that are happy to help, then check out our community at school, SKOOL.com/meal prep. You get to try it for 7 days for free. And after that, it's a whopping $10 a month. And I will guarantee you, if you're cooking along with us on Sundays, you're going to save a lot more than $10 a month versus going out to eat, takeout, and some of the other options that aren't quite as healthy as making your own food. All right. That's it for tonight. We hope to see you guys next week and afterwards. All right. Give me a second. I'll come turn that off. I think I remember how to do it. See, this is where a cameraman would have done that for me. Really doesn't pay well, but it comes with some free food